So Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal there asking people to get vaccinated, register as quickly as possible and get vaccinated. Also saying that in case they are short of at least 700 metric tons of oxygen every day, then Delhi is in a position to set up between 9,000 to 9,500 oxygen beds every day, and no person will, God forbid, die for the want of oxygen in the national capital. But for that, the centre will have to assure Delhi that at least 700 metric tons of oxygen will be supplied to the national capital every day. And from Delhi, I want to shift focus to Karnataka. That's reported its biggest single-day spike with more than 50,000 new cases in the past 24 hours and unfortunately 346 fatalities. Bengaluru alone accounts for nearly half the total surge after Bengaluru reported about 23,106 new cases and 161 deaths on Wednesday. The surge comes after Karnataka remains under strict restrictions. The cases continue to rise. Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa had earlier said that restrictions will continue at least for now. The close down, it's not being called a lockdown in Karnataka, but the close down is in place till the 12th of May. There is, of course, a 6-hour window every day for essential services. Yediyurappa is also saying that a decision on extension of current restrictions or a complete lockdown will only be taken after studying the impact of the current lockdown towards the end of the phase. And the Congress party has hit out at BJP MP Tejasvi Surya, alleging that he gave a communal twist to the BBMP bed scam. The young BJP MP had on Tuesday revealed a bed for bribe scam going on at the BBMP war room for bed allocations. The Congress says that Tejasvi Surya only named people from the Muslim community, and this is an attempt to communalize the bribe for bed scam. Speaking to India Today, Congress MLA Rizwan Arshad claimed that there were 212 people working in the war room, but Tejasvi Surya only read out 17 Muslim names. The Congress accused Tejasvi Surya of playing communal politics in the pandemic.
See, whoever is an accused, whether it's from Muslim or Hindu community. What the BJP MP Surya and his MLA friends did was, they counted 17 names out of 212 employed in the war room. And all the 17 names belong to the Muslim community. So that was the objection. And they asked, are you running a madrasa or a control room? So if 17 people belonging to Muslim community work in a war room out of 212, and for that also they don't tolerate 17 people out of 200 means, what is your sabka saath, sabka vikas?
So what is this bribe for bed scam? There is a pandemic and apparently there are people who are trying to take advantage of the situation in Bengaluru. Take a look at this incident, for example. Officials at Bengaluru's civic body, the BBMP, have reportedly been caught taking bribes for allotment of hospital beds reserved for COVID-19 patients. How does this happen? Take a look.
The mad scramble for beds. A spate of oxygen-related tragedies. And a sharp, relentless spike in COVID cases is making Karnataka the emerging epicenter of India's second wave. And amidst the festering catastrophe, a sickening possible reason for the shortage of beds. Officials at Bengaluru's civic body, the BBMP, have been caught taking bribes for allotment of hospital beds reserved for COVID-19 patients, leading to hundreds of COVID patients stuck without beds in the state capital. A full-fledged COVID bed scam. Let's tell you how this terrifying reality was uncovered. The Yediyurappa government recently set up a war room in BBMP zones, which citizens can call to get bed allotment without delay. However, since the last 15 days, anyone who called the BBMP war room for beds was told there was simply no beds available, including oxygen and ICU beds. Tipped off about the bribery operation, BJP MP Tejasvi Surya and a team of BJP MLAs rushed to South BBMP war room to take stock. They say that they found BBMP officials in nexus with outside agents collecting bribes to allot beds reserved under the government quota for COVID-19 patients.
It has been allotted at the first instance to a person who is asymptomatic and is under home isolation. And in the 12 hours that he has from the time of allotment to the time of admission, if he does not get himself admitted, the bed becomes auto-unblocked. Like that, there are 4,000 instances, which means 4,000 beds were unnecessarily blocked in the name of people who did not want the bed.
Here's the modus operandi of this entire scam. Citizens calling for beds are immediately told no beds are available. Then, in some instances, a bribe is demanded for allotment of beds under a so-called government quota. A bed is then blocked in the system for 12 hours, during which the deal is negotiated and done with the desperate patient. If the deal doesn't go through, the bed is back in circulation for the next bribe attempt.
Now, in one instance, 12 beds were booked in different hospitals at different times under a single asymptomatic patient's name. Well, the current rate for one single bed is upwards of 40,000 rupees, and it's even more if you want an ICU bed. The Bengaluru police, as of now, has arrested 2 persons. They are questioning several others after registering a case.
Tejasvi Surya has also dialed former Infosys chief Nandan Nilekani for help in scam-proofing the BBMP's bed allocation software.
The Chief Minister has immediately called and he has said that he is going to take all these officers who are involved in this to task. This has been brought to the notice of the Honorable Chief Minister. The Honorable Chief Minister will take appropriate action.
In a city where soaring numbers and citizens suffering on a daily basis, the scam has triggered anger and a political crossfire.
ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಸಂಘಟನೆಗೂ ಮುಜುಗರಾಗಿದೆ, ಎರಡನೇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೂ ಮುಜುಗರಾಗಿದೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಎಲಿವೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗು ಮತ್ತದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸಚಿವರು ನೀವು 2 ಖಾತೆ ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. 2 ಖಾತೆ ಯಾದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ? ಒಂದು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಕು, ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಕು, ಹಂಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಏನು? ನಾನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಪಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇವತ್ತು ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಕ್ಕಾಗ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ ನನಗೆ ದುರಾಸೆ ನಾನು ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಖಂಡಿತ.
The scandal has stunned a suffering city. If such criminality could be happening in a well-administered metropolis, imagine how bad it is elsewhere. With Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
And we're right in the midst of this raging second wave of the pandemic. Experts suggest that India needs to gear up for the third wave. The principal scientific advisor to the Prime Minister, Professor Vijay Raghavan, yesterday said that a third wave is inevitable. The time and the scale and the occurrence of the third wave cannot be ascertained as of now. He went on to say that several studies are being conducted to understand and anticipate not just the third wave, but the variants and the mutants. He emphasized that making vaccine more effective to fight the variants is priority. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray also said that there is need to prepare for the third wave now. Efforts are to fight the virus, and these efforts are being made with the help of doctors and frontline workers in the state of Maharashtra.
A phase 3 is inevitable, given the high levels of circulating virus. But it's not clear on what time scale this phase 3 will occur. Hopefully, incrementally, but we should prepare for new waves.
सरकारच्या विज्ञान विषयक सल्लागारांनी एक इशारा दिलेला आहे की देशामध्ये 3री लाट येते आहे, सावध राहा. सावध राहा म्हणजे काय करायचं? तर नवीन काही नाही आहे त्याच गोष्टी.
COVIDiots on the prowl. Eid shoppers throng markets. Hyderabad left horrified. Charminar area turns into a crowded free-for-all. And all this while Telangana records its biggest ever spike. COVID safety loses out to faith. Festive revelry over saving lives.
As the al-Fitr festivities draw close, COVID idiots are thronging markets without following any guidelines. The iconic Charminar in Hyderabad and the markets nearby flooded with people who threw social distancing norms to the wind.
Hundreds of people out shopping. That's right, shopping in this huge crowd amidst the second wave. No question of social distancing. May not even be bothering to wear a mask. This is the iconic Charminar in Hyderabad. You'd expect that amidst a deadly second COVID wave, that markets here would wear a desolate look. It's, however, exactly the opposite, as you can see. Hundreds of people throng the markets in old Hyderabad as Eid al-Fitr festivities draw closer. These COVIDiots have chosen festivities over their lives, and this as cases are alarmingly rising in the city of Hyderabad.
There are boards like this, wear mask or you have to pay ₹1,000 for mask violation. But the reality at ground, this is Charminar, the famous monument of Hyderabad. And you can see hundreds of people are here for Eid shopping, Eid celebration. And the entire area is crowded. Entire area is filled with people. And this is just afternoon. The day will progress, more crowd will throng and more crowd will gather at this place.
Has any action been taken by the authorities? Nothing yet. With only a night curfew imposed so far, nothing has been done by authorities to stop this kind of super spreading ahead of festivities. This kind of overcrowding is a matter of serious concern and has led to several experts demanding a lockdown before Eid. But the Telangana Chief Secretary claims all is well.
The government knows that the situation is under control, and we also know that lockdown valna pedda upyogam ledu. We have to be careful. We have to follow the treatment protocol. Our hospitals lo evaru vasinappudu valki manchi treatment iste and evarki initial symptom vachinappudu ee medicine anni tinte evarki samasya raadu.
The coronavirus cases in Hyderabad are low when compared to other cities, but what is a matter of concern is these kinds of scenes at markets in old Hyderabad and the lack of testing, something that the Telangana High Court also slammed the KCR government over. We've seen how gatherings have led to a huge surge in coronavirus cases across the country, and it was this laxity and neglect that led to the second COVID wave that has ravaged and is continuing to ravage the country. But for authorities and citizens here, faith and festivities matter more than their lives. With Ashish Pandey in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
That is all we have time for on this part of the show. For all the latest news and updates, log on to indiatoday.in. You can also download the India Today app to stay connected.